Hi everyone, this is Lily and I'm the School Librarian for the School of Medicine and the School of Health here at Western Sydney University. The objective of this short video is to demonstrate how to conduct a gold standard search in the Medline database via the OVID platform using a line and block technique. Before we start this video, I'd like to share with you an acknowledgement of country. With respect for Aboriginal cultural protocols, Western Sydney University Library acknowledges the traditional custodians of the unceded lands and waterways on which our libraries are located and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. The university works across many different lands and I'm currently on Dharawal land. We celebrate the knowledge and living cultures of Indigenous Australians and acknowledge their important contribution to teaching, learning and research. We acknowledge that the activities currently delivered across our campuses are a continuation of teaching and learning that has occurred on these lands for tens of thousands of years. The research question used for today's presentation is, in children 2 to 12 years with attention deficit disorder, does physical exercise affect self-regulation? The framework used to analyse the question for key search terms was the PICO framework. And today's search is based on an already completed logic grid. Just to provide you with a brief overview of the logic grid. Firstly, the PICO framework was used to identify the key search terms. Based on these initial terms, additional synonyms and related terms were listed. Database tools such as truncation, phrase searching, proximity operators, nesting and wildcards were applied to improve the efficiency of the search. Lastly, the Medline thesaurus was searched to locate appropriate index terms for each of the search terms, and these were added to the logic grid. Index terms are called many things in different databases. In the Medline thesaurus, these are called medical subject headings, but you may know them also as subject headings, control vocabulary terms, descriptors or thesaurus terms, but they all refer to the same thing. Index terms are the special tags, either single words or brief phrases, that describe the focus of the document's content. They are manually assigned to articles. With the logic grid populated, we are now able to commence searching in the Medline database. And let me show you how to navigate to Medline through the library webpage. From the library homepage, go to Collections, e-Resources. Scroll down to Databases by Title and select M. Scroll down till you find Medline. Once you are in the Medline database, be sure to either log in or create an account. This will allow you to save your search later. In the line and block technique, all of the text words for an element in the PICO are searched in one search string connected using the Boolean Operator OR. This creates a first line. Immediately following, the associated index terms are searched, creating a second line. These two lines are then merged again using the OR operator to create a block. So we can start searching for the population text search terms from our logic grid in specific database fields. Both the Cochrane Manual of Systematic Reviews and the Joanna Briggs Institute Synthesis Manual recommend searching for the key text search terms in the title and abstract database fields, and that's what we will do today. In the Medline database, you can search for the title and abstract in 3 different ways. You can use the multi-field search mode and paste in your search terms, then manually select the fields for title and abstract. Ensure that the OR Boolean operator is selected and click Search. Alternatively, you could use the search field mode. Select the title and abstract fields, paste in your search terms and click Search. Another option is to use the advanced search mode and type in a syntax for title and abstract. A syntax is a special arrangement of letters and symbols that will tell a database what to do and in what order to execute a search. The title and abstract syntax in Medline is open parenthesis, close parenthesis, full stop, TI, comma, AB, full stop. Then paste your search string inside the parentheses. So you can see that they all bring about the same results, so it's really up to you which method you prefer. I will use the syntax method from now on and remove the other searches. So far you can see that we have created our first line in our search if you look up here in the search history. So next we need to search for any associated index terms. All of these index terms will have been identified during the preliminary search stage when you're developing a logic grid. But just as a review, let's look at how to find an index term in this database. Firstly, make sure you're in the advanced search mode. Then type in the word in the search box. Ensure that the map term to subject heading box is ticked. When searching for index terms, you need to type in the whole word. You cannot use a truncation symbol or a wildcard at this point. Run the search. The database will try to identify a matching index term. Check the scope note to make sure that the definition of the term in this database meets your expectations. You then need to investigate whether you need to explode the term or not. When you explode an index term, every narrower index term under the broader term will be added to the search results. Click the hyperlink on the subject heading to see the tree of narrower and broader terms. In this case, we can see the narrower term, child, preschool, indented under the subject heading child. Because I would like to include this narrower term, I can select explode, and the database will search for both of these subject headings at the same time. Click Continue, and you will see a screen that shows subheadings. In systematic reviews and scoping reviews, subheadings are rarely used as they narrow the search. So in this screen, just click Continue. We now need to merge the unique results of both of these searches to create our first block. We do this by linking both of the search lines using the Boolean Operator OR, creating a population block. But our population in our logic grid has two characteristics, and so far we have only searched one. So we apply the same strategies to the second population characteristic. Firstly, search for the text words in the title and abstract using the syntax in the advanced search mode. We can note here that an error has occurred. This will happen sometimes when you use initialisms. To correct this error, we simply need to place quotation marks around the initialism. The next step is to search for the associated index term. Check the scope note. Click the hyperlink to decide whether to explode or not to explode. In this case, the broader term is of interest to me, but I wouldn't explode the broader term because it would bring in lots of irrelevant results. So in this case, I simply select the two terms that are relevant to my search. And once again, I merge the two new lines to create another block. Now that we have both characteristics of the population complete, we can go to the intervention and use the same approach. Search first for the text search words in the title and abstract. And this time I will use the index term from my logic grid. Note here that because I used the /, which is the syntax for the subject heading in Medline, I did not get a chance to look at the scope note or decide whether to explode or not. I made these decisions when I was developing the logic grid, which is the best place and time to make those decisions. Merge the results of both of the two new lines to create the third block. Note that in this research question we did not have a comparison, so we do not need to do any searches for the component C of the PICO. Let's look now at the specific outcomes we're interested in, self-regulation. Search first for the text words in the title and abstract. A note about hyphens. In this database, when you search for a word with a hyphen, the database will automatically search for the word hyphenated or as two separate words. It will not search for the term as a single word. If that format is important to you, you will need to add that to your search string. Next, I search for the index term, and again I will use these from my logic grid. I now merge the results of the two new lines to create another block. So far, we now have 4 blocks, 2 for the population, 1 for the intervention, and 1 for the outcome. In this technique, a block will occur at every third line, so it's time to bring those blocks together using the AND Boolean operator. This has allowed us to demonstrate a broad search of the literature. But what if we decided there was an important term missing from our search? Well, it's very easy to add terms in a search like this by editing. For example, if I wanted to add sports, I would just go to line 7 and click More. From the drop-down menu, select Edit. In the next screen, select the line you need to edit and click on the pencil icon. Paste the new term inside the parentheses, click Save, and run the search. You will also need to check to see if there's a new index term available for the new term that you've added to your search. If so, use the same editing technique to add the new index term to the correct line in the search. You can use the same editing strategy to correct any other errors you may notice in your search. Most databases will allow you to save your search. It's a good idea to include the date of the search and the name of the database in the search name to avoid later confusion. You can recall a saved search by clicking on View Save. For systematic reviews and scoping reviews, it's important to print a copy of the search results on the day that you export either to Covidence or to EndNote. To print a search in the OVID platform, go to the Advanced Search mode, type in "PS" in the search box. In the resolving screen, right-click and select Print. In the Print dialog, ensure headers and footers are ticked and select Print to PDF. This concludes today's video, and for further assistance, please contact the school librarian or the Study Smart librarian.